This is Luke Radowski with Captain Lewis. Now, Captain Lewis, I got to say, being out here from day one, being maced, being batoned, having a horse step on me by the police, I was giving up hope that the police are one of us, that they're our brothers and sisters. That's always been in my thoughts. But seeing you here gives me hope for that idea. What gives you hope to be out here with us here today?
You guys give me hope. The fact that so many of you were willing to live in the cold and live on this hard concrete and marble and not have the proper food or bath facilities and whatnot, and day after day after day, I said, this is remarkable. You inspired me to come down.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I've always been saying is that the police are not the enemy. The police could be our brothers, could be our sisters, could be our aunts, our cousins. We're all family, we're all one in this world. But how do you think we could reach out to more police officers? I mean, what changed you? What made you, as a former police officer, as a former police captain, understand the problem and be out here in support? And how can we, as an organization, as a movement, get more police officers on our side?
Okay. I understand the tremendous frustration everybody has, and that's got to be vented. And it's vented against those people who are trying to stop you from your demonstrations and protests. And you can't hold it in because you're so pent up with the anger at the system and nobody listening to you. And we voted for Obama. And he was a great, I mean, I actually cried when he was inaugurated because I never thought I'd see the day. And I thought, wow, what a new America. And he has been the biggest phony.
Yep. And
he's let everybody down. And I'm even disappointed in his wife. I thought she would have some influence if he started to go this way, but she hasn't. So that frustrates the hell out of me. And so anyway, I understand the reason for protesters to have to vent, but I really don't think it helps the cause. Okay, if you're I don't see it helping the cause to win over the police by shouting at them, calling their mothers names.
Yeah.
Because we can't make enemies of them. All right, they're the ones that we have to win over because they are us, and they got to realize they are us. When I started in the police force, 1981, we had lifetime health care. When I left, they were giving 3 years health care.
Wow.
I just heard recently, I believe they're now negotiating, the city wants to give them 1 year. Well, guess what's next? Okay?
None.
And it goes down and down and down.
Yeah.
And the pensions, when I joined, I got a really good pension. Newcomers now, new recruits, they had that pension slashed in half. And this is all because the tax base of the cities is dwindling. And why is the tax base dwindling? Because jobs, the manufacturing jobs, all the jobs are being shipped overseas by the millionaires who want to become billionaires. So they become, the greed is so corrupt. I mean, if you're a millionaire, you have gold faucets, you have a gold-plated toilet seat. I mean, how much more do you need?
Yeah.
And then when you're in that position, you know what they're doing? They give money to politicians to veto any raise in the minimum pay.
Yep.
And it's just so obvious that these are soulless people.
Yep.
And soulless people should not be in power and corrupting our government.
Yeah. Back to your previous point, anger creates more anger, hatred only creates more anger, and it's a cycle that continues. And I've personally been speaking out against the cycle and continue. It's just been hard going through some of the abuses, seeing the atrocities, seeing the beatings. It's it's one of the strongest things I have to overcome in my life, seeing that and still believing in it. But you make me believe that. And back on your previous point with the money and system, there's been a push here by some people to get money out of politics, which means establish college sports rules where politicians would not be able to take any money from corporations or big banks.
Yeah, well, what was the Supreme Court ruling?
Yeah, that corporations are people.
Citizens versus U.S., that was outrageous. Yeah. Listen, we even had the Supreme Court is even corrupt. Now that tells you how bad we are. When the Supreme Court is corrupt, something's got to change.
Exactly. What do you think of a basic idea saying that money, private money, corporations and big banks should not be able to give any money to our elected officials? Do you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely, absolutely. The number one thing to win an election, the number one thing is how much money do you have, okay? And when you get a lot of money from somebody, you're indebted to them. Okay? And if you don't follow what they want you, if you don't vote the way they want you to vote, guess what? Next election, you're out of a job. Okay? So they are just puppets for corporate America. Every politician
Yep.
is just a puppet for corporate America.
Bought and sold.
Everyone.
My last question is, you were recently arrested for standing with the protesters here. How was that experience being in jail? Was that
Well, I'm going to tell you the first experience I had.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of proud moments in my life, and I had a lot of proud moments in my career. And this might sound very strange, but when they put those cuffs on me and was leading me across that intersection, I felt the proudest I ever felt in my life.
Wow.
To join you guys in solidarity.
Well, you touched my heart. You give me hope.
You guys touch me and you give me hope.
And once I think the police come around, there'll be real significant change, because it is us versus that small, very exclusive elite. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Captain Lewis. You're awesome. God bless you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
And I wish you the best with everything.
And just try to realize that I know you have a lot of anger, but when you shout these things at the police, and if, hey, civil disobedience is okay, but don't go kicking them and don't go spitting on them. Just, you know, get up with them and go with them willingly.
Don't continue the cycle of hate and anger. End it.
You hit it right on the head.
Yep.
You're continuing the cycle. You're right.
Don't continue it.
All right.
Move
And
forward.
thanks for what you're doing.
No problem.
I'll tell you right now, what everybody's doing here is the most important thing, because you guys are the real media. Thank goodness for the internet. All right.
Yep.
But then I don't doubt someday they're going to try to shut that down.
Oh yeah.
But corporate America will shut down the internet when they see this getting stronger and stronger. I have not watched any television news stations. I have not watched any. I have not read the papers. I get all my news from the internet, the websites like yours, and there's a million of them.